तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, second Canto, 9th chapter, verse number 29. When Lord Krishna appeared to Brahma after being pleased with his austerities, then Brahma got the vision of the spiritual world and he saw the devotees and Lakshmi and finally the Lord. And then Lord spoke to him and he told him that he was very pleased with his penance and asked Brahma to take a boon from him. So Brahma prayed to the Lord and said that he should not become proud or bewildered by Lord's Maya while engaged in the activity of creation. And he said that he will perform the duty as instructed by him. So in this he continues to pray to the Lord in the same way. He says, Yavat sakha sakyurevasvet iveshate kritaha praja visarge vibhajami bhojanam aviklavaste parikarmani sthito mame samunnadmadojamaninaha. He says that as you have accepted me like a friend, O Lord, let I not become proud, thinking that I am unborn while engaged in the activities of creation and allotting the various types of karma to the living entities, being engaged in your service without any agitation of mind. So this is the boon he is asking. That of course this naturally includes the boon that he should be given the knowledge how to create, because this is the purpose for which he has performed the austerities in the very beginning, when he did not know how to engage in the process of creation. So he says that when I perform this act, vibhajami bhojanam, that when I will create various types of living beings, then I should not become conceited thinking that I am the doer. Because he is also called Aja, and Aja Manine, he is calling that I think I am unborn, although I have taken birth from you. But because he is not born in the normal process, but appeared from the navel of the Lord, so he is called Aja. So he says, just as I think that I am unborn, I should not think that I am the creator and become proud with that. And Lord has accepted him like a friend, although friendship is between the equals. And if two people are not of the same caliber or same standard, same class, then their friendship is problematic. So this also signifies that by accepting him as a friend, Lord has given him the power to create, because Lord himself is the creator, and if he gives him the power to create, then he is also like the Lord. So that means he has transferred his power into him. And that was the significance, that he touched his hand. Because touching the hand is a symptom of love. When you like somebody, when you touch that person, shake hand, you take the knife from you and do this. There is one under this also. But it also signified that by touching him, he has transferred his power to him. So Lord performs everything himself, but sometimes he does by his own person, and sometimes he gives the powers to others. So as in the first canto, I think 18th chapter, it is mentioned that when the pastimes of Lord were performed here, he killed many demons. And that verse says that some of them were killed by him and others were killed through Arjuna and Bhima and other devotees. So they were not directly killed by him, but he empowered them to kill. And he can also take his power back, as it happened to Arjuna when he was carrying the queens from Dwarka to Hastinapur. Then on the way, these coward people came with the stick and took away these queens, and Arjuna was not able to protect. So he was very surprised. Therefore he was lamenting in front of Yudhishthira Maharaj that I am the same Arjuna, I have the same Gandhi with me, but I was shooting arrows and nothing was happening. So it is all power given by the Lord, and he can take it away whenever he likes. So therefore he says in Bhagavad Gita, Yad yad vibhuti mat satyam Srimad urjitam eva tattadeva avgachatvam. So he says that whatever you see wonderful, effulgent, powerful, extraordinary, says know this to be mam tejo ansa samudbhavam, that it is born out of my teja, my power, my potency. That is Krishna's statement. So everything is happening by his power, and this is the meaning of that there is ultimately one absolute reality, or there is one ultimate cause behind everything, and all good and bad emanates from that one source. And good and bad is according to our understanding. From the absolute point of view, there is neither good nor bad. It's all absolute. So, as Krishna told Uddhava, Guna Dosa Idir Tir Dosa Gunastu Bhevarjita. Says to consider that this is good and this is bad, this itself is the defect or vice. The real virtue, real good quality is beyond both so-called good and bad. Because these good and bad in the material world are relative. They are based on our own concept, and our concept can change. In every culture things change, in every society. Some things were considered as good 100, 200, few hundred years ago. Now they may be considered as bad, or vice versa. And in future they may again change. So just like fashion, it keeps on changing. So something is considered as very fashionable today, then it changes. And then again, maybe after 10, 12, 50 years, same fashion comes back. So it is our mind, we start seeing something as fashionable. People are wearing now one earring, so that is fashionable. Or they wear some torn jean, so that is considered as fashionable. But 10, 15, 20 years ago, this will be considered as very stupid. Nobody will do that. Just one earring. So what is this? So therefore, Krishna says that this consideration of good and bad, these are relative, and they can change. And there is absolute concept, and that's what we study from Bhagavatam. So Lord is giving the power to Brahma. All the power comes from him, and if we can remember this, then we don't become proud. Therefore, he advises in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana Bhavat Bhakta, always think of me. Ma Manusmara Yuddhacha, always remember me. Because remembering God is not just remembering that He is Krishna, but remembering Him with His power, and remembering that He is the cause of everything. Remembering that we exist in Him and by Him, and not independent. So to remember this fact that we are not independent, this is remembering Krishna. Otherwise, Kamsa was also remembering Krishna all the time. Shishupal was also remembering Krishna. They never forgot him. But that kind of remembrance is not advised here. That also was beneficial to them. They became liberated by that. But as devotees, we are not advised to remember him in an adverse manner, but to remember him as the ultimate cause, the supreme support, fountainhead of all the potencies. So that's what Brahma is praying, that he should not forget while engaged in the creation, because when you start doing some work, you forget. People ask this question that how can we remember God all the time? We have to do our daily duties. If your job is only to chant or do worship or read Bhagavatam all the time, then no problem, you can remember Krishna. But if you have to go to job and do your business, take care of your family, deal with people, then how can you remember Krishna all the time? So Brahma has to do the big creation. He has to get into the karma of the living entities and arrange how to take birth. Because karma is a very complicated thing. Our karma is not just our karma, it is related with so many other people. So he has to bring people of karma together those who have common karma. So he has to give them life together and so that they can relate with each other and give them facility that they create more karma. So it's not an easy thing to do that. And he has to make sure that the creation continues. Otherwise he can send people of wrong karma together and they can just wipe out the whole race. So he has to keep a balance also between sattva, rajas and tamas. Then only the creation can continue. It becomes completely lopsided. And everybody becomes in sattva and nobody will create. Everybody would like to sit and meditate. So that's why in the beginning it was like that. When Brahma created the 4 Kumaras and he told them that when you create, so they refused. Because they were in too much sattva. So they said, we don't want to create. And then he created Shiva, who was in charge of tamas. So he created all tamasic people. Pisachas, bhutas, kusmandas. So that became another problem. So he has to bring somebody like Daksha Prajapati. He is balanced type. That's why his name is Daksha. Means he is expert. So then Daksha, he created so much. So in that one can forget, one can become proud, like Daksha also became proud. So the story of Daksha is that how he became very proud, because if you have, imagine that you have hundreds and thousands of children, you will become proud, because you will see all these people as your creation and they are following your order. Imagine you have 10,000 sons and they all listen to you. They are ready to do anything. That's why I had 10,000 sons. He told them, you go and perform tapasya for creation. They all went. So how much powerful you will feel, 10,000 sons. It's like an army without any training. They are ready to follow. So he had so many sons and daughters and they were all very obedient. Then he will feel very powerful and become proud. That's why he was very proud. He insulted Lord Shiva. When he came in the assembly, there was a big conference about creation. Like these days they have peace conference on how to keep the global warming in control. So like that Daksha had one conference in Haridwar, in the foothill of Himalayas, and he invited Brahma and Shiva and the demigods, because in those days these people were coming to earth. They were involved in the earthly affairs. And Daksha was a very prominent person because he is the one who has created all the beings on this earth. So when he came, when he entered, it was like he was the presiding person. And everybody stood up except for Brahma, because Brahma is the father. There was no need for him to stand up. And then Shiva also did not stand up. He thought that Brahma is not standing up, I should follow him. So when otherwise everybody else, Bhrigu and Vasishtha, Kratu, and all great sages were there, they all stood up in respect of Daksha. So Daksha is supposed to be born from the thumb, and thumb, they say, is very important for human evolution. Right? Human beings are very much different because of the thumb. If thumb was not there, then you will be like Eklavya, disciple of Dronacharya, you cannot shoot. So when thumb is there, we can grasp things, and we can work. If thumb is gone, it will be hard even to eat your soup or your chapati. these fingers. But really, how will you eat without the thumb? So Prajapati Daksha is born from the thumb of Brahma. That signifies the working power, the creative potency. So he was very proud, and when he saw that Shiva did not stand up, then he should have kept quiet. If he was a humble person, what is the big problem if he does not stand up? But when you are proud, then small things can upset you. If you are walking on the road and you meet somebody who is junior to you, and that person does not say Radha Radha to you, or he looks to the other side, then this itself will increase your blood pressure and heartbeat. And for another half an hour, you will be hot in your head and thinking why this person did not say, greet me. So this is how the human mind, human ego works. So then the whole cursing and counter-cursing started because of this one small thing, just because he did not stand up. And Daksha immediately started criticizing Shiva like anything. Said, he's a rascal, he has no house, he made a big mistake of marrying my daughter to him, and he doesn't even have a proper dress, and no etiquette, and where is he, and where am I, and what is our relationship, and like that, he was going on and on. So then of course Nandishwar, he stood up and he cursed him, and then Daksha had obviously his followers, they cursed him, and all sorts of things happened. And Shiva was completely cool like a cucumber. He did not say anything. And finally he walked away. Because if he would have become angry, he will destroy everybody if he opens his third eye. So he controlled himself and he left. And then, as the whole story goes, it led to so much trouble that finally Daksha's head was cut off by a follower of Shiva. So therefore he says that Samunnadha Mado Ajamanine, that I should not have, he says Samunnadha Mado, little bit pride is okay. Completely not having any pride, that is also a problem. But he says Samunnadha, too much, like completely proud. That is not good, because that becomes the cause of fall down and destruction. You disturb others and of course oneself. When you disturb others, then you also disturb yourself. It is not possible to disturb somebody without disturbing yourself. You can always experiment this. You can do an experiment, try to disturb somebody and see how the disturbance come to you. Not in next life or after a few years, it will come immediately. At least in this case, in the case of disturbance, the law of karma acts immediately. Like you put your finger in fire, it burns immediately. In the same way you disturb somebody, you get disturbed immediately. So that's why ahimsa or non-violence is one of the very important principles of dharma or religion. And it's not just killing but disturbing. Because if we want to remain peaceful, we have to also make sure that others remain peaceful. You disturb others, then you get disturbed without fail. So getting proud is one way of making sure that somebody will disturb you. If you like disturbance, then the formula for that is become proud. Then you don't have to do anything else. somebody will disturb you. Because pride is something which is very sensitive. Like sometimes if you burn your hand or your finger or something, and if you really burn, then the skin is gone. And then that part becomes very sensitive. Even if you put your hand under the fan, that air also pierces and gives you pain. So pride is like that. Pride is like without skin. Very, very sensitive. So somebody, if your skin is removed from the hand and somebody even touches it with a finger or a straw, you are very sensitive. Immediately you feel the pain. So pride is like that. That somebody says one word or somebody raises one finger or makes some gesture, and immediately you are hurt, you are disturbed. So that is called samunnad mada. Samunnad means very much like grown up, very big. So first of all pride, and then very big pride means occupying a lot of space. It's looking for trouble. So proud people, they're like always in trouble. They look for problems. They only see problems. So he says that he does not want to be like this. And Brahma, of course, has 4 heads. So there is more reason for him to be proud, because he has got 4 egos. four times more egoistic he can be. So this says that I want to do seva, parikarmani, and I should not be disturbed, aviklava, while doing service to you. And that is possible if one is not proud. Otherwise, first of all, one will not do service. A proud person cannot do service. It is possible only if one is humble. So that is the formula for service. Aviklavastaye parikarmani. That is the formula for service, and that is the formula for peace of mind. But it is very difficult, because somehow or other this ego is something which keeps on growing like grass. You cut the grass, it's always growing. 24 hours it is growing. Not only when you pour water it grows. Day and night it grows. So ego is like that. Even when you are sleeping, it grows. And when you are doing something, then also it grows. So he says that I remain free from this, so that I can perform service. Because service and pride, they cannot go along together. Therefore Krishna is very expert in removing the pride of his devotees, whoever he or she may be. He will not spare anybody. So in Bhagavatam we see that whether it was Arjuna or Bhima or Gopis or even Radharani, he did not tolerate this. So that is because, why is that? Because it goes against the very constitutional position of the living being or a devotee. The devotee means one who performs devotional service, and pride is against that. So of course these are eternal associates, Gopis or Pandavas. There is no question of them becoming proud, but that is his Leela. He brings his associate to teach us an example. Tadrasi kriyate krida yat suttva tat paro bhavet. Lord performs his krida, his play, his pastime in such a way that by hearing that we want to be like it. So therefore he has his devotees who are trained, then he makes them little proud, then he removes their pride. So like on the stage you make a play. So they know already that it is a play. They don't really become proud. So similarly the devotees, associates of Lord Sri Krishna are not proud, they don't become proud. But he performs this Leela to show to us the conditioned souls that we should avoid becoming proud. And that is Brahma's prayer. He prayed this in the previous verse also and again in this verse, and that shows how important it is not to be proud. Otherwise he doesn't have to repeat it. There is no other thing which he has repeated in his statement. And this he has specifically repeated. In the previous verse also he says, Nahi hemane praja sarge badhe mevangrahat. And by your grace I should not become bound. And becoming bound, same thing, that you consider yourself as the doer and take credit. And now he is making it more clear in this same Praja Visarga, same word is used in the act of creation. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments, Mano Vanchitam Abhivyanjayan Prarthayate Yavaditi. Says what he wanted, what was his inner desire, now he is making it very clear, explicit. And that is that Yavat Sakha Sakhyuri Vesate Kriti. Says as long as I remain engaged in the act of creation. Eisa Te Tvaya Sakhyuhu Sakha Ive Dasa Bhasopi Ham Krita. So he says that really speaking, I am not even qualified to be your servant, but you have treated me like a friend. Dasa Bhasopi. So that is his great grace. Karasparshadina Vyavrahita Ata Sakhya Bhakti Meva Aham Prapnaya. So since you have shook hand with me, so let me have Sakhya Bhakti towards you. Kincha yavad adhikaram avasthitir adhikarikanamiti nyayene swayuhu paryantam yavad prajanam visarge vivid srishto bho parmeshwara janam vibhajami uttam adham madhyam bhedene vibhaktam karom. So he says that as long as I am engaged in the act of creation, I should not become proud. So does it mean that when he has stopped doing the creation, then he can become proud? That is saying yavat, as long as. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that after his life is over, then he will be a devotee, so there is no question of being proud. He will be with the Lord, because Lord has shaken hand. He signifies that he will be a devotee, eternal associate. He doesn't have to take another birth. So there is no need of asking beyond that. As long as he is living, if he remains free from pride, then after death also he will remain free from that. So there is a principle, Yavad Adhikaram Avasthitir Adhikarikanam, the Vedanta Sutra, that these adhikaris, Brahma, etc., they have their post for a specific period, and once that period is over, then depending on if they are devoted, then they are transported to Lord's planet. If they are not devoted, then they may take another birth. So he says, Swayayuhu Paryantam Yavat Prajanam Visarge Vivid Srishta. So Prajanam Visarge, various types of creation which he is going to perform. Bho Parmeshwara Janam Vibhajami. He says, I am going to divide the various types of people Uttam, Madhyam, Adham, Bhedene, some high people, middle type of people, low class people. Kidrishaha te tav parikarmani paricharyayam. So what type of service? He says, I will be engaged in your service. Aviklavo, avyakulaha savdhante astitasam. And I will perform this with complete attention, without any disturbance. Tavat samunnadh utkato mado me mama nabhi. So that long I should not have any excessive pride. So after he has prayed to the Lord like this, then Lord he speaks. And what he is going to speak now, this is the original Bhagavatam. This is the core of Bhagavatam. From this only the rest of the book was developed. Sri Bhagavana Vacha Jnanam Param Guhyam Me Yad Vijnana Samanvitam Sarahasyam Tadangam Cha Grihana Gaditam Maya. The Supreme God, he said, my knowledge, and which is very confidential, Jnanam Param Guhyam Me, says knowledge about me which is very, very confidential, secretive, along with its experience, Vijnana Samanvitam, and the secret behind it, and its limbs, you accept this being spoken by me. So there are 4 things which Lord is going to give him. Number 1, he will give him knowledge which is theoretical knowledge. So that is important. First thing, we have to know theory. When you go to school or college, so first you study, you get theoretical knowledge. Then you go to laboratory, you make an experiment based on the theory. And if you have studied theory properly, then you can see the experiment and get the experience. So it becomes realized. So he is not only giving him knowledge, theoretical knowledge, but also realization of it. For he says, Jnanam Param Guhyam Me Yad Vijnana Samanvitam. So you get the knowledge and also realization. And this knowledge is the supreme secret, the top secret. Because this is the knowledge of love. Love is the highest secret. There is nothing more secret than that. And the proof is that everybody is talking about love, everybody wants love, but nobody gets it. Isn't it? Because this is the secret. And the reason for that is that, first of all, people, they don't have jnana, they don't have theoretical knowledge about love. What exactly is love? Everybody talks about love. So in philosophy, there are 2 things. First there is lakshana and then there is pramana. Lakshana pramana bhyam vastu siddhi na tu keval shabda matra. That a thing is proven by 2 things. First you have to give a definition of it, and then you have to give pramana, the proof, how to realize it. Then that thing is proven, not simply by talking. So people are only talking about love. I love you. But what is the definition of love? If we are hungry, then we know what is hunger. And the proof is that when we feel hungry, then we eat, then it is satisfied. So we know that the hunger was there and got satisfied. But love, we are feeling the hunger for love, and it never gets satisfied. So we try so many things and we think I love you, or she loves me, or he loves me, but you never feel satisfied with it. That means you don't know what will satisfy it. So first there has to be Gyan. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Jnana Vijnana Sahitam Vakshyami Yat Kamya. That I will speak to you Jnana and Vijnana, knowledge and realization. So first there is theory, and then there is experiment. There is Lakshan, and then there is Praman. Definition and the process, how to get that. So if you want to buy gold, you have to first know what is gold. Even if you want to buy potato, you have to know what is potato. Otherwise you may buy tomato and think it is a potato. So first there has to be knowledge, and then Vijnana Samanvitam. And if we have to deal with any object, then we also have to have real experience of that object. We cannot deal in anything. We want to deal in love, but we don't know what it is. So to deal with any object, if you want to deal with pen, you want to write with pen, you want to give pen to somebody, you want to purchase pen, you have to know what is pen. So if you want to love somebody, you want to get love for yourself, you want to give love to somebody, you have to know what is love. And if you don't know, then it is not possible. So he says that this is the big secret. All other secrets are small ones. There are many secrets. Everybody has got some secret. But the biggest secret is the secret of love. And this is what is being spoken in the Chatusloki Bhagavatam. This is what he will talk. But he is going to explain it in an indirect manner, because Sarahasyam. So he is going to give knowledge, realization, and Sarahasyam is again the secret, confidential thing and its part. He says you accept this. So he is blessing this about it to Brahma. So that's why Brahma, he has this power to give it to others, because he got it by the grace of the Lord. And Cain says, Gaditam Bhaya, I will speak it to you. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments, Atra paravare yatha rupe janiyam ityanena tav aprakritam rupam prakritam cha rupam idrisham iti yathatma maya yogena ityanena tav maya yog maya cha kidrishi iti yatha kridasi maya adhikritesu yog maya adhikritesu cha lokeshu tab kena prakarena kridati Bhagavad shikshitam aham karvani yatandrita ityanena madavist siddhyartham tvat shikshitam kim mama kartavyam iti brahmana karmena prishtas. So he says that Brahma has asked 4 questions in the 6 verses which he had spoken after seeing the Lord, from verse number 24 to 29. These were the 6 verses which were spoken by Brahma. So he says in the last 4 verses, he asked 4 questions. No, in the last 5. He says, Paravare yatha rupe janiyam te tu arupina. He says, I want to know about your form, the material form and the transcendental form. That is the first question. The second question was, Yathatma maya yogena nana shakti ubhrimitam vilumpan musrijan brindam bhujanatmanam atmana. That you have your maya, yoga maya and mahamaya, and with that you are playing here in this world. First, what is the type of your maya and how you are playing? This is the third question. And the fourth one is that I am going to perform activities or service to you as you instruct me. So what is that instruction? So your form, your maya, your lila, and your instruction. 4 things. So these 4 things are explained in the 4 verses, which is called Chatusloki, or the 4 versed Bhagavatam. वस्तु चतुष्टयस्य चतुश्लोक्य क्रमेणैव उत्तरं दातुं भगवान् प्रतिजानीते. So he answers these 4 questions in order in 4 slokas, and before he starts answering, he is making a statement about it. He is indicating that I am going to give you these 4 things, which are also mentioned here: Jnanam, Vijnanam, Sarahasam, and Anga. 4 things.
What's the first?
Anga,
Anga.
the limb. So these are the only 4 things which are described in the 4 slokas that relate to the 4 questions. एतद् उत्तर चतुष्टयात्मकमेव श्री भागवतम शास्त्रम श्री भगवत प्रोक्तत्वेन प्रसिद्धम. And this answer which is given in the 4 verses, that is called Srimad Bhagavatam. And why it is called Srimad Bhagavatam, why the name Bhagavatam is there for this book? Because Bhagavatam means Bhagavata Proktam iti Bhagavatam, that which is spoken by Bhagavan. The word Bhagavat comes from the word Bhagavan, that it is spoken by Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. So it was personally spoken by. It's like Gita is spoken by Bhagavan Krishna directly. In the same way, Bhagavatam, the original 4 verses, were spoken directly by Krishna himself. So as that is Bhagavad Gita, these 4 verses are also Bhagavad Gita. It's also his song. But there he sang for a long time. Here he sang just 1 minute for 4 verses. न केवलं मद्रूपस्य ज्ञानमेव तुभ्यं ददामि अपि तु विज्ञानेन अनुभवेन समन्वितं यत् तदपि. Says not only that I am going to give you knowledge about my form, but I will also give you realization of my form. But the first question was that yad rupam paravare yatha rupe janiyam te tvarupam, that how can I know about your form. So it says I am not only simply going to talk but make you realize. Of course he is standing in front of him. Kincha param guhyam nirvishesh brahma jnanadapi shreshtatvat. And he says that this knowledge about my form, this is very, very secret, because it is superior even to Brahma Jnana. Brahma Jnana itself is secret. People don't know what is Brahma. And then what to speak of the form of the Lord. So that is, Brahman, knowledge about Brahman is secret, and knowledge about Lord's body is more secret. Because it is very difficult to understand that how somebody who is all-pervading can have a form and stand in one place. How is it possible? At least Brahman is secret, that it is not material and this and that, and it is all-pervading. But how is that God is all-pervading, all-powerful, all-knowledgeable, and he stands in one place and looks at you? This is very big secret. And when he is standing there, he is not just standing there. He is everywhere. Even inside us. And not only that, he is inside everything is inside him. So this is the secret. How to understand it? How can we conceive? It is impossible for the material mind. It's only that by God's grace one can have realization of this fact. Otherwise it is not possible. Even the great scholars get confused. Mahiyanti yat suraya. Bhagavatam says that even great suris, great learned people, they become bewildered in this. So therefore they say, Niti Niti, God has no form. Most people speak like this. Christianity, Judaism, Muslim religion, Buddhism, Jainism, they all say God has no form. And Advaitavad. So majority of people think God has no form. Because it is a secret. How to understand it? Because as soon as we think God has a form, we think of form which is in our experience, we cannot avoid it. Whenever we think of a form, we conceive something material. Because that's what mind is. Mind can only conceive material things. Material form, material sound, material taste, everything material. But he is not. So it is very bewildering that what form he has. And how can he have a form if he is all pervading? How can he stand inside this world when he is actually having the world inside him? So you have food in your stomach, then you cannot be inside the food. How is that possible? Either you are in food or food is in you. It cannot be both. So how can he be in the world when world is inside him? And he creates the world and still stays outside it. And yet he is inside also. So this is the meaning of secret.
This is the seed of the world in him. The
Hmm?
seed of the world, of the universe in him.
No, the whole universe is in him, not only the seed.
Yeah, but the seed can expand also.
Yeah, but and after expanding also it is inside him.
Depending on him, yes.
So depending on him, it is inside him and it runs by him. And yet he is outside. This is the secret.
Contradiction.
Yes. Very good contradiction. So therefore he says, Kincha Parama Guhyam. It is very confidential. Nirvishes Brahma Jnanadapi Sreshtatvad. It is superior even to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman. So that is the second thing. Then he says Kincha Rahasyam. Then Rahasya, this Guhya and Rahasya, different words but means something secret. He says that what is Rahasya? He says that is love, Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhaktim cha sa prasiddhas tvam griham. He says take that also. He's giving. He says take the knowledge of my form, take the realization of my form which is confidential. Also take this very confidential Prema Bhakti. Just take griham. It's fully open. Sugopyam api vakshyami ityadi nirdesha. Says although it is something which I don't give easily, but now I will give to you. Muktim dadati karichit smana bhakti yoga. That Lord can give mukti, but bhakti is very rare. It is one of the characteristic of prema bhakti that it is very rare. So he says, I will give. Tasya rahasyatam gayam. Tasya rahasyangam. And this bhakti, prema bhakti also has its anga, its limb, its part. That is sadhana bhakti. So he will also give that. So you take the prema bhakti and also take sadhana bhakti. So the process, how one can attain, because Brahma is the Guru, and he will teach to others how to perform sadhana. So he is giving that also. These are the four things. Tasya rahasyasya angam sadhan bhakti yogam tam chaiti tvaya aprishtam api etatrayam kripaya yaksham. He says, you have not asked these three things to me, but I will give these three also. He only asked knowledge about the form among the four questions. So he says that not only I will give you knowledge, I will give you realization of my form, I will give you prema bhakti, and I will give you sadhana. Three things extra. Buy one get three free.
This is his love.
Yes. So therefore he says, Kripaya eva vakshami. Out of my grace, I will speak this to you. So this is about the first. Then Kimva Bhagavad Shikshitam Aham Karvani iti anenaiva tatrikamapi tvaya prishtamev. Or another way of looking at it is that because Brahma said that I will do whatever you instruct me, so this itself includes these three things. I will do whatever you instruct me, and what Krishna is going to instruct? Krishna wants to give love. So he is going to instruct. So these three things therefore are included in that fourth question. त्वया पृष्ठमेव इति चतुर्थ श्लोके एव रहस्यत्वात् बहिरंग लोक अगम्यता एव पक्षामि. So now because Brahma did not ask directly, Brahma did not say, please give me prema bhakti, please give me sadhana bhakti. He said, I will do whatever you instruct me. So Krishna is also not going to instruct about prema bhakti directly. He will instruct in an indirect manner. And you will see how he will instruct. This fourth sloka, how nicely it will be explained. Nobody has explained like that. Nobody understands that the fourth verse is talking about Prema Bhakti. Very nicely it will describe. He says, Rahasyastad angayor etayor nama grahanam प्रथमोक्तात् परम गुह्यता ज्ञानादि अपि गोप्यत्वम उत्कृष्टत्वम च बोधयति इति. He says, by using the word rahasya and tad anga, because he says sarahasyam tadanvancha, it indicates that this is even more confidential than the Gyan which is spoken in the first verse. Because he is going to speak of knowledge, Jnanam, in the first verse of the Chatusloki. Says this is even more confidential. But he again says it is Rahasya. Maya gaditam grihana iti avdadhanam api brahmanam visheshto avdhabya. And then he says, take it from me. He specifically says, spoken by me. So why he is using the word spoken by me? This is to indicate to Brahma that now become very attentive. I am not going to speak for very long, and I am going to speak in short and in a very concise manner and indirect manner, so be very focused. So although Brahma was already focused, now he is even instructing him to be very concentrated in his mind and hear very carefully. So then from the next verse he starts speaking about these four things. That we will do tomorrow.
How is this?
technically working when Brahma before creation sees the karma of all the living entities that are supposed to be in this universe. How does he see this? I mean, how does he perceive this? Or like a video or
It's difficult to answer that.
it's just kind of revealed to him?
Yeah, it must be revealed to him. My Krishna. You must see their samskaras, basically, the propensities, and accordingly create.
Or is it like a painter who has all the colors on his plate and then you think, oh, this matches with this? And
Yes. You can match with the karma, and according to the yoga also, cannot bring people of the Kali Yuga mentality in Satyuga, except maybe few of them. So there's always some mixture. In Kali Yuga also there are some people who are of Satyuga mentality also. So he has to see all this.
amazing.
This is why they refer to it as amazing grace.
I have one question to the structure of this chapter, because we were in the fifth verse, we were left with that the second questions from the eighth chapter will be spoken, and then come this description of the Vaikuntha, and now comes actually the core of the Bhagavatam. And the second question, which should be described up from the fifth verse, was the question about the form of the Lord. And now we are seeing that actually in this story, which should answer the second question about the form, Brahma is again asking about the form, about Maya, about Lila, and about this instruction. These four questions from Brahma, is this still relating to the question of the form, or are there new questions, and with that
No, they are not
new
new
answers
questions.
coming?
They are basically the essence of those questions only. So what is happening, that he had asked something like 30-35 questions, and those questions have been summarized in 4 questions by Brahma. Because ultimately everything is related with what? It is related with God and His form, and then devotional service, which includes jivas and Maya. 2 types of Maya, means internal creation and external, and then the karma of the living entity and how to get out of it. So it's basically summarized, because you will also ask, talking about itihasas and Puranas and the Vedas and the fruitive activities. So all this will come when he will explain what is Prema Bhakti and what is Sadhana Bhakti. So he has basically summarized those questions, and Krishna is giving the answer in brief, and then it will be further expanded. When you come to the 3rd canto, then this will be again a given broad answer.
Because
We'll continue to answer this.
As far as I can remember, Vishwanath Chakravarti left us with in the 4th verse, as in the commentary, that now from the 5th verse, the second questions will be explained.
Yeah.
So it can give a feeling that now in this Chatushloki and in the core of Bhagavatam, actually only the answer to the form of the Lord will be given.
No, that of course is there, but other things are also included. But because they don't become very clear, then he will explain. Because there it will be explained in this very chapter, that Narada was asked by Brahma that you expand this. There says Tasmaidam Bhagavatam Puranam Dasvasham Proktam Bhagavata Prahita Putraya Bhutakrit. That he spoke this Bhagavatam which has 10 characteristics to his son Narada. And then Narada spoke to Vyasa. Dhyayate Brahma Paramam Vyasaya Amritedasa. And then Vyasa explained it further to his son Sukadeva. And there he says that there are 10 characteristics of this Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visarga yasya sthanam poshanam mutaya manavantaro yasanu katham nirodho mukti rashraya. So all those 12 questions which were asked by Parikshit ultimately fall into 10 categories. So then those 10 categories are listed and then they are explained one by one. And then they are started to be expanded from 3rd canto onwards. So in this way it is answered.
You just spoke about these 10 characteristics. Can it be understood that also this core of Bhagavatam in Chatushloki had these 10 characteristics?
Yeah.
As in 4 verses?
Right.
You say about this proud related to the ego and this license to have one small part of whatever. Not that we don't have to have any ego and any proud. We are allowed to have ego and proud also. So, okay,
So proud as devotee, that I am devotee, that is my pride. And being devotee, I have to be humble.
resolution.
So I have to say I'm not devotee.
Then you will be proud.
Why?
Because if you are not devotee, then you are proud. The devotee is not proud.
So what is the solution?
Be devotee.
So therefore you have the pride that you are a devotee. And then having this pride, be humble. Because devotee is humble. But if you say you are not a devotee, then what are you?
Something.
Then you have some other pride, and that will be improper because we are originally meant to be devotees.
But pride should be filled. If I have not a feeling, how I can be proud?
Well, if you don't feel it, then you don't have it. And if you don't feel it, then you must be a devotee. Otherwise, how is that you are not feeling it?
So you have to be kind of like supernatural.
You have to be natural.